I have a great story about Victor Wooten. I guess John Patitucci had another gig or he had another commitment. So for that week at the Blue Note in New York City, Victor Wooten was sitting in with the electric band. They were playing a tune, I think it was CTA was the song they were playing. They started giving Dave Weckl, a drum solo. And there was a vamp happening. It was like a dotted quarter note thing. So it was like a bum, bum. Then they would let him go for 8 bars. Victor's sitting there dancing, listening to Dave, grooving along, keeping time, his eyes are closed, and he's just hitting those hits. Boom, boom. 8 bars, boom, boom. If you watch Chick is like a statue. He ain't moving, he ain't tapping, he's just going boom, boom, every 8 bars. At some point, Dave starts doing this crazy displacement thing, where he's pushing everything over onto like the weak beats and like just digging, like leaning into it really hard. Everybody was like, oh, when he started doing it. Victor went like this. So he's dancing, grooving, and all of a sudden and he didn't say anything, but you could tell that connection was gone. He looks over at Chick, who is completely unfazed, and again, like a statue. And I could see him. He's watching Chick. He's just watching Chick. And when Chick's hands went down, he went boom, boom, and was right back into it. But for those few bars where Dave was cutting it up, you could see, if you were watching, if you're listening, it was perfect. You couldn't hear anything because, again, musical intelligence. He lost his way, but he was able to kind of like look at the other guy and say, okay, this is where I am, and jump back in without anyone really noticing, unless you were paying attention to what was going on. And listen, we've all been there where we've lost that connection, where you're playing and all of a sudden something crosses, something short circuits, and that connection is gone. And when you're the kind of player that's used to having that connection all the time and that happens, it could be jarring and hard to recover from. When you watch guys at that level, they are always connected to what they're playing. That doesn't take away from the fact that they can be creative and spontaneous and have freedom. That freedom comes from having all of that stuff back in the brain. They're always aware of the time. They're always aware of what they're playing. They're always singing in some capacity in their head. You don't want to be the kind of player that just plays and is not connected up here. Because that is, as I mentioned in my comment, like driving down the freeway with your eyes shut, hoping to not crash.